bit about the story about how you got this Rocky's Neon. We know it was an amazing Italian restaurant. Hey guys, we have a special video today. We were invited by our channel supporter, Chris, to his apartment here in New York City because he knows that we love neon and we love all sorts of collectibles, vintage items, and we're gonna go check out his apartment. So let's go. So before we look at your extensive collection, tell us a little bit about yourself, Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. Basically, I'm a chef. I've been in New York City for about 15 years now. Worked for various restaurants all over the city, and I just had a passion for collecting and neon, and happened to be lucky enough to find myself in the right spot at the right time, and that was what happened with the whole collection. It just started growing. I'm trying my best to get pieces that are New York centric and or local businesses, because a lot of times this stuff just ends up in the dumpster. And neon has mercury in it, and basically it looks better here than it does in a dumpster.
You got it. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chris, so immediately coming in here, we see so many neons, but my eye goes right to that Rocky's Neon. Oh, tell us a little bit about the story about how you got this Rocky's Neon. We know it was an amazing Italian restaurant in I guess you would say the edge of Nolita / Little Italy. So right. Yeah, tell us a little bit about the story, because I know, Chris, you're a chef.
Right.
Were you working at this restaurant? What happened? How did you get this piece?
I was working for the restaurant next door, Balabusta, and they had taken over the space where Rocky's was, and we're going to open Taim. So we were taking. They wanted to take over Taim, and when the crew at Rocky's left, they left the signs. So what happened?
Were they covered up?
No, they were just left on the side of the building.
Oh wow!
And so I've always had a thing for neon and wanted to collect, and I've always wanted a large format. That definitely qualifies. It's like 7 feet by 3 feet. So the owners were like, yeah, sure. They were just going to dumpster them. So the day they were going to take them down, I got a phone call saying, show up. So I showed up, borrowed a hand cart from a friend of mine, and wheeled it on over here, and then called Let There Be Neon, and they were kind enough to come over and inspect it and hook it up so I could plug it in at home.
Because, guys, this was outside. This neon sign was not inside the restaurant. It was outside, and it was a corner restaurant because there was two sides.
There was two sides.
Right. So this
is the one that was on the spring side of Spring and Mulberry.
Right.
So this was on the there was a playground there. If you're in the playground looking at the building, this was the one that was on Springside.
So let's go approach it. Tell us a little bit about, what kind of shape it was in when you got it. Because you can see, guys, this is metal, and then there's the neon tubes inside.
Yeah, it's all sheet metal. I think it's aluminum, but I'm not 100% sure. But like everything, there were some bends in the channel work, and the lenses were never on it. But this is what they call double stroke with the two. There's a better example of double stroke, because this isn't actually meant to be seen. There should be plastic over this, but it didn't come with the plastic. It had been removed over the years, I guess, so much that they just decided to...
right, as a protective covering.
As a protective covering, but this is the way I got it. So, but it was covered in pigeon poop, and like I said, some of the channel letters were bent, so I just took a pair of... what do you call them? Needle nose pliers, and bent them back into shape. And
but all the neon itself, the tubes were intact.
These are the original tubes as I got it.
Wow.
Everything was intact. Basically, once Let There Be Neon came and checked it out, gave it the okay, just don't run it for a long time. Apparently, there's some little thing that's not right here.
Right, not for days on end.
Yeah, don't let it run for days on end.
And this is your bedroom,
right.
So obviously you go to sleep at night. It's not like you
right.
you turn this off, I imagine.
Yeah, I don't daylight in the middle of the night, but yeah. So I ended up with.
Do you want to show us your LED that you also installed
Sure.
behind it?
So.
Because I think that's really cool. And do you notice the Lego?
There we go.
Guys, I'm holding this up. Notice the beautiful Lego builds he has here. Falling Water, Extra Good, the Guggenheim, and of course, these are from all your travel places that you've been, right?
Between my partner and myself, each one of us has either been to one or both. We both went to London. We went for my partner's 70th birthday. We live in New York, so we've obviously been to the Guggenheim and the Empire State Building. He hasn't been to Falling Water. I have, and I haven't been to Italy, but he has. So it's.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's great when it changes color.
And just a little something to add a little depth. And that's where we had our artificial Christmas tree is hidden back there. So, I mean, it was perfect.
Oh, that must look extra festive.
Yeah,
Extra good.
I use all vintage lighting for that. So, you might have to come back at Christmas and check it out.
Oh,
we do the whole.
We would love that. We'll have some grog together. So, Chris, tell us about some of your other pieces. I noticed Season's Greetings. You said we can come over for Christmas.
Yeah,
Tell us about this piece.
So I found this one on eBay. Some gentleman out in a small town in New Jersey. His father worked for one of the local breweries out there, and they used to give these to the bars at Christmas time to promote their beers or whatever. I think there was more to it at one point, but basically I just got the Season's Greetings end of it. But for $65 and a small trip out to Jersey, it came home, and it goes in the window at Christmas time. So, and
Extra good.
yeah.
And it was in perfect working
It was
order?
in perfect working order. I mean, it flickers a little, but that's to be expected with something that's almost 50 years old.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
And then, what else we have over here? Right, we've got We Love New York, because who doesn't?
Exactly.
That was a eBay cheap, what do you call it, mass-produced from China. I'm actually surprised the way they shipped it, that it made it here in one piece, but they basically just take a styrofoam cooler, pack it with foam, and ship it in a big envelope.
And how about I just spotted some banks back there.
Oh, sure, hang on. Why does this keep coming apart? Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I got this for my 8th birthday.
No way.
Yeah. It was the first mechanical bank. It doesn't work very well right now. I actually have to take it apart and rethread it, but the frog goes into the lake. You put the coin there, you push the button, the frog pops out, supposed to pop out, and the Native American's supposed to lift the fish.
Wow.
And then we've got an Uncle Sam, which is reproduction from Tommy Hilfiger, or some 80s cologne was giving them away. So I think I got that when I was like 17.
I just spotted this Ferris coaster wheel. Well, actually, I spotted it before, but tell us a little bit about this piece.
I saw them at Toys R Us in Times Square. They had a big display of them down the one side, up by the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and wanted one, found one on eBay. It was missing a few pieces, but if you contact Connects, they'll send you the missing pieces. And because we like the Wonder Wheel at Coney Island, kind of fit in, because they, hang on, sorry, stick that back there.
And can you show us how the little oh, perfect, that's what I was going to ask you to do. Oh, wow.
So the cars travel around like a coaster. A couple of them are.
Yeah, it does remind you so much of the movement of the Ferris Wheel at Coney Island, because of some of them are moving cars and some of them are stationary cars. Wow. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That was an extra good find.
Speaking of Coney Island, I managed to find this one on eBay. We have George C. Tillieu. Somebody was selling selling them, and because the eyes that are red.
This is a rare piece, right?
Yeah, the tube, they don't make the red very much anymore. It's actually red glass, and mostly what they do is they dye the tubes or put phosphor on the inside. Let me turn it off and I'll show you. See how it's all white, but the eyes are red, still dark.
Right.
So they cover the inside of the tubes with phosphor and use it's either helium, they're all noble gases, but I forget exactly which gas is in this one. And so you end up with the different colors, but it's rare that they actually use the colored glass anymore.
That's amazing. Really beautiful. And then like I spotted another little neon right here.
Yeah, that's my, it's supposed to be a Mexican taxi. You can take your car, it's got magnets on the bottom, and then it's supposed to plug into a cigarette lighter, but I modded it so that it's got a barrel plug on it, so I can just run it off a 5-volt or 6-volt, what do you call it? Transformer.
Right.
So.
And I see it's an old sewing table, right?
Yeah, we've got our traveling gnome on the old singer table.
Oh, wow.
Where you can go without ever moving.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And where did you find the sewing table?
Gerry?
My father got it for me.
Oh my God. That's a find. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, it's just a piece of nice stone on top, just stuck on top of an old sewing table.
Extra good.
And go.
All right, we got another neon right here, Heinz Tomato Ketchup. Tell us, Chris, about this.
So, again, another eBay find. Yeah, I'm a professional chef, and one of my big things is I hate homemade ketchups. Like, all the restaurants got on that big kick. I'm a Heinz guy, so when I saw this, I was like, yeah, I kind of had to get it. And this one's, again, unique because the green that the shield's made out of, they don't make anymore, or it's extremely hard to find. So I got it. Everything was in working condition when I got it. And
wow.
However,
it's a beauty.
thank you. When I got it, the wiring was kind of shoddy on it. It was the original wiring, so I again called Let There Be Neon. They said bring it in, they'd see what they can do. So they were kind enough to completely rewire it, and because my walls are white, then I requested white wires, so they were able to accommodate that for me. And then we picked these up on our last trip to Europe, little, like, I'm such a ketchup snob. If it's Heinz, it's got to be Heinz. I'll actually bring bottles of Heinz to a restaurant.
That's, you know, that we are ketchup from watching our live streams, and with Hudson too. We love our Heinz ketchup. We're always putting on our burgers, our fries. James even puts it in his side as baked beans as well.
Wow.
So I spotted another little one right here.
Yeah, that's my Voodoo Lounge, another eBay find. It's just a cheapie from Spencer's Gifts, I think from like the 80s. I haven't bothered to get it repaired. It kind of flickers, and I kind of like that because it just reminds you of the whole flickery.
Yeah, that's neon.
Yeah, it's neon.
But I spotted a beauty right next to it. Tell us about this old vintage phone.
Oh, I've always liked old telephones, and I found that in the early 70s. A gal I worked with was selling that and a lounge that looked like it came right out of a psychiatrist's office. About a couple of years later, I moved to a different apartment, sold her back the lounge, and kept the telephone.
And the pad?
It's originally Swedish. It's been modified with the dial. The pads on it are old things from, where's that from? A hotel?
Hotel Okura, Amsterdam.
Yeah, from ages
So
ago.
that's just like the stationery that you would get when you were staying
Right.
there. when people actually use stationery.
Correct. And the pad under it is a little telephone, a train register or something or other.
Oh, record of seals on cars, side doors, end doors. Wow.
That's from the railroad.
Oh, that's extra good. Really great. Thank you. Thank
you're
you,
welcome.
Gerry. Oh, and tell us about, I'm just spotting these beautiful pieces above the telephone.
They're face jugs that I bought down in Asheville on a trip there, and I always liked the face jugs. Those are all early, like 2000,
Wow.
2002, 4, somewhere around there.
Awesome. All right, Chris, we spotted another neon piece. Tell us a little bit about this guitar.
Again, another eBay find. Somebody out in Brooklyn was getting rid of it, and the price was right. And I didn't have any pieces that animated. And this one is, again, it's a Spencer's 1980, 1990 piece. And this actually will animate to flashing, warning for flashing lights. And then it also sound activates on the bass level. I don't know if you want to show that or not, but it does respond to
music.
It responds to music, but with copyrights on on your channel.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was a good catch that we always have to be careful of. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so every once in a while, especially like Fridays, Saturday nights, I'll just turn off all the regular lights in the house and have a neon disco party and let the neon flash away.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Cord.
The NY on the wall was supposed to be neon, but the gentleman who shipped it didn't pack it right, and I was like, oh, what the hell am I going to do with this? I had the bulbs from a store over on 14th Street, and they color changed fiber optic, like like Broadway bulbs. So I just got some foam core, stuck the bulbs in, and
Wow.
yeah. Unfortunately, I spent more on the fiber optics than I spent on the letters, but yeah.
What's the meaning behind the shake?
The shake, actually, again, another eBay find. A gentleman bought a neon shop, had a whole bunch of prefab neon made up, and was just letting the tubes go. So he had them listed just as this, just the shake picture with the shake separate. But when he realized that I was going to put the two together, apparently somebody had already put them together. So I just had to buy it. I took it to my neon guy over on Hester to have it mounted on lucite, and then got a cheap $20 micro transformer and hooked it up.
Voila. And I love it because it's like right where you have your blender and everything, so it makes perfect sense.
I just got the Ninja Creamy, so we have the whole ice cream shake thing going on.
All right, well, we spotted another one up here on top of the fridge.
Yeah. Our neon toaster, I forget whose brand. I think it's a Sunbeam toaster, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember. But somebody modded a toaster and did neon toast. So eventually, when and if I open up my own restaurant, if the toast is on, come on in and we'll serve you.
We'll be there. And this piece, tell us about on the Bowery that I spotted over here in the corner, amidst all these other lovelies that you'll talk about.
So there was a convenience store bodega on the Bowery called Steve's on the Bowery. They had a nice porcelain background, and unfortunately, due to rents and whatever in the neighborhood, they ended up going out of business. And I happened to be coming out of home from work one day and saw a gentleman standing out in front of, and I was like, I live on the Bowery. What's the possibility of getting the sign? And they said, well, we're keeping the porcelain part of that, and Steve's was broken. Somebody had thrown a rock at it, but the on the Bowery looked to be intact. Basically, they said, if you can get the tubes down, they're yours. So I came home, got a ladder, grabbed a Rubbermaid trunk and some bubble wrap, went back, fought through some massive amounts of pigeon poop, and managed to get the tubes intact. They ended up sitting in the bathtub. They were massively covered in pigeon poop when I got them.
Oh
In
my
fact,
God.
I actually etched some of it They look dirty, but they're not. You can't get it off.
It left its mark.
It left its mark. So yeah, but,
it's a real New York neon.
It's been sanitized 3 times, and so I took the tubes to my neon guy on Hester Street, and he managed to hook me up with a good transformer, white wires again, so it blended into the wall, and mounted it on Lexan for me. So when we move, or if there's a problem and we need to paint, we can pull it off, and it's easy to move.
Right, instead of it not having it with the lucite. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Now, what do you have in front of here? I see a special little collection. Yeah, so tell us about this collection, Chris. This looks extra beautiful.
So my partner and I like to go to Europe on river cruises, and me being a chef, and I collect nutcrackers and stuff, we picked up smokers along the way. Basically, if you don't know what a smoker is, you take the top off, you put a cone of incense in, light the cone, and you put it on, and then smoke will blow out of its mouth.
Oh my God.
So, and then this guy I got in Vienna, nutcracker maker, and I collect, and just happened to run back, pick them up, had them shipped back to the U.S.
I think I spotted some other nutcrackers in your bedroom, right?
They're like all over the place.
What's oh, and I'm right here too.
Yeah. This is the Nutcracker. This was most of my Nutcrackers were Susan Milford, or collaborations with Susan Milford. So this was for the 100th anniversary of the Nutcracker Suite.
Oh wow.
100? Yeah, 100. 1992 to, or 1892 to 1992. And then Captain Hook. Some of them are duplicates.
And Captain Hook has some Scrabble. I see that, Gerry.
And then up here, Susan Milford did a collaboration with Christopher Radko. So these are Radko ornaments that were turned into nutcrackers. We have, I believe this is the Russian Santa. Yeah, this is Russian candy striped Santa. I'm working on trying to find the ornaments that go with them.
And can you show us how the Nutcracker, where you like to show us a little movement?
Oh yeah,
there we go.
There's a little thing on the back.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. You would never use these as actual nutcrackers.
No, of course not. But I like showing the movement anyway.
So, and this is Winter Dreams.
Oh, yeah, he's got an extra big mouth.
Yeah. And then we have, oh crap, I forget his name. Snowgent. This is Snowgent. This is actually, they're usually limited to 500, but I managed to get my hands on an artist proof signed.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing.
And then the last one that I have, there are 2 more that I don't have because they're extremely rare. The last one was the Bishop, and he's actually an artist proof too. Unfortunately, he's not signed, but I have the documentation from the seller. So
gorgeous.
Very cool.
So I spotted the Village Voice box.
Yeah.
And for people that are not New Yorkers, why don't you explain the meaning behind this? Because I know right away, but somebody that's not from New York may not.
So the Village Voice is basically like the local paper for the village, East and West. They went out of business, about 2-3 years ago? They printed their last one. So
and it was free, guys.
It was a free, just pick up your paper. We've got all the packing stuff in there, but you just walk up and pick up your thing. It came out, like every Wednesday or something?
Yeah, see, free every Wednesday.
And
a lot of people got their jobs in the classifieds in the back of the Village Voice.
Okay.
And apartments. That's definitely. Because, that would be like, people would go to the office.
I think they would down the street exactly from where we got this.
You could pick them up. I think Tuesday night, right? If you got there, just as they finished printing them, and that's how you would get like an extra jump to get that apartment or get, you know, something that was in the classifieds. So yeah, tell us about what happened when you heard that Village Voice wasn't going to be printing newspapers anymore. What went through your mind?
They weren't going to be printing. They, as you can see, collect graffiti, and I worked for a restaurant that was big into graffiti at the time, so we decided that my partner and I, they were pretty much going to end up in the landfill, and we figured we'd upcycle and save some graffiti at the same time. So we brought it home, threw it in the bathtub, threw on several pairs of industrial gloves, and carefully picked through the urine-soaked sand in the bottom, and deep bleached it.
By the way, guys, they have two bathrooms here. So just because one was occupied by the Village Voice, I did notice in when we went through our apartment, they are lucky enough that they have, like, you know, it wouldn't take up the whole bathroom is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So we tried day one, and it still smelled kind of like a bathroom. So we,
kind of funky.
Kind of funky. So I came home from work that night with more sanitizer, picked up at CVS, and drilled some holes in the bottom, which took care of the problem. So we just dumped water, sanitizer, bleach.
That was smart.
Everything at it, and got everything out, because I mean, here we don't have to worry about it being weighted down, so it was just easy. And if somebody wants to restore it and take it and put it back outside, all you gotta do is plug up a few holes, fill it with sand, and
all right, Chris, I spotted this, and we know that there's one right outside Veselka. Tell us about this New York Telephone Company and why you picked up this piece.
It was on eBay. We were at a flea market over in Williamsburg, and they had one on the table. It was really beat up, covered in green paint, and my partner wanted one, and his birthday was coming up, so I wasn't able to haggle a deal with the one that had wear on it. So I came home and checked eBay, and there was one for the price I did want to pay, so I picked it up and won my bid. And it's an original, it's not a reproduction, and it's in perfect shape on both sides. So
awesome.
I got really lucky on that one.
Another great find.
So one of my favorite finds, there's a New York artist, Richard Rothbard, and I've been following his career and collecting him since the mid 80s, I guess, when he was doing juried craft shows. He's still doing them, but I saw this piece online in like 1989, 1990-ish, and it's one of his masterwork boxes. It's Alice in Wonderland, and you pull Alice out, who's the key, and slide the top down, and it reveals the story of Alice in Wonderland in wood relief and wood cutouts. And this thing opens in various ways, and
wow.
It was insanely expensive when they first made it. Again, I happened to find a deal on eBay, and the box was in really rough shape when I got it. And I found it right before COVID, and Richard still operates a store up by Lincoln Center. So I managed to contact him, and he was able to do repairs for me on the box, so that
wow.
it's much more. There's still one or two minor things wrong with it, but it's in much better shape than it was when I originally got it.
Every level, there's another surprise.
Yes, it just keeps going and going. There's like 3 or 4 more compartments.
Wow.
But
of course I love Doggo. Looks like Hudson a little bit.
Yeah, and that comes out, and there's more wood relief. So, yeah, this is my one of my many finds on eBay that just I happened to get lucky, find the right person selling at the right time.
Now, did you have a puzzle box when you were a kid, just like you had that bank? You know, because that makes sense. Like, okay, I collect banks. I had that one from when I was a child. Like, what? How did you know?
My parents started collecting him in, like I said, in the 80s, which is when I started following his career. And they'd go to the craft shows, and they'd just get like the basic heart ones, which were like $25, maybe $30 at the time. And so these were like $3,000 back then.
Wow.
I'm not going to tell you what this has been appraised at recently, but yeah.
And when you brought it to repair, he said he hadn't seen it in years.
He hadn't seen it in years. Yeah. So he was actually happy to have it back and to do what repairs he could do. Like Alice was missing her little tuft on her sleeve, which he was able to put back in for me. And he charged a reasonable. It was reasonable for the repair. So
it's an incredible piece. I've never seen anything like it. I really, really haven't.
Again, there's multiple levels, and it's my pride and joy. I was so happy to find it, and like I'd wanted it for so long, and thought, oh, I'm never gonna find it, never gonna find it. And the night it popped up on eBay, I was just like, I don't care what damage there is. I want it. It's coming home.
Oh my God. Well, we can't thank you enough. This was so amazing. Thank you for letting us into your home, for showing us all your amazing collections, the neon, the puzzle boxes, the nutcrackers, the banks. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You have such a beautiful, beautiful space. And yeah, we can't thank you enough.
Thank you guys.